महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोऽधीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरननदी कैवर्तककेशवाः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमला प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणीन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः अर्जुनविषादयोगः धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय सरम्
Sairam. Uh, Good evening, all. Welcome to English session of Bhagavad Gita class. So, last class we have seen we are doing 6th chapter and we have done 35 shlokas in that. Today I have to start from 36th shloka. So, last time we have seen that Krishna was talking about Samadarshinaha. So that is all normal people like us. So what we see is like this is mm, man, or this is woman, or this is mountain, this is forest, or this is prime minister, this is common man. So this is how we identify things, and we are taught and we teach our children also. But this yogi, he goes beyond all these namarupas, and he can see oneness, he can see equanimity, he can see the same thing and only one entity behind each and every living and non-living things, and that is Bhagavan, that is Atma, he can see only Paramatma everywhere within ourselves also, and within each and every entity, whether it is living or non-living, he can see only that. So that is Samatva or Samadarshinaha. Krishna was explaining that, and then we have seen that uh, Arjuna says, Yoyam yogastvaya proktaha samyena Madhusudana. Hey Madhusudana, what yoga you're talking, I'm not able to understand that. Arjuna is so honest. So he is so confused because Nama Rupas, yes, he is our guru, he is our grandfather, and all these things where the way Arjuna was identifying and Arjuna was thinking and Arjuna's thought process was like that. But suddenly Krishna is telling something different. So Arjuna is getting confused, and very honestly he says to the guru, his friend, his cousin, his guru Krishna, that, oh Madhusudana, what you are talking about, Samyena Madhusudana, यः अयं योगः त्वया प्रोक्तः साम्येन स्वाम्येन मधुसूदन एतस्य अहं न पश्यामि. So I'm not able to see it that way. You are telling that the yogis can go beyond and behind all these entities and see oneness everywhere, but I am not able to see that, says Krishna. Sorry, Arjuna. And he tells the reason also, that chanchalatvat, because my mind is fickle, my mind is unstable, that's why I'm not able to understand what you're speaking. And then in the next sloka again Arjuna says that mind chanchalam hi mana Krishna, mind is so fickle, so agitative, pramati, balavat, it is so strong, dridam, it is so firm, and uh, I'm not able to control it. It is so difficult. It is as difficult as controlling the flow of wind. So like that it has become. I'm not able to control my mind, says Arjuna. And then we have seen Krishna says that, Krishna admits that, yes Arjuna, what you say is true. And he doesn't say that, oh Arjuna, you can't you do this much also, I'm explaining you from that time. Krishna never says that. He says that, yes, asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. Yes, it is so difficult to control the mind, I agree. But uh, it is difficult, but it's not impossible. It is possible, says Krishna. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. By constant practice and by vairagya, you can achieve, says Krishna. So then Krishna continues. So, Mahodaya, you read the 36th shloka.
अस्तु महोदय। ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरमात्मने नमः। असंयतात्मना योगः दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः। वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुमुपायतः।
असंयतात्मना योगः दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यः अवाप्तुम् उपायतः इति सन्धि विच्छेदः भवति. So here Krishna says that asanyataatmana yogaha dushprapaha. So if the person, for a person who cannot control the mind, for them yoga is impossible. Iti me matihi, it is my opinion, says Krishna. So, and then again in the second line he says that Vashyatmana, one who has mind under his perfect control, then for them, for such a person, it is possible to have yoga samsiddhi, he says. So, Krishna says that if you cannot control your mind, then yoga is impossible. Because if a person thinks that he can enjoy the materialistic things, he can get engrossed in the materialistic things, and at the same time he want to be called as yogi or he want to be called as saint, no, it's not possible. He cannot do both the things together. So suppose a person goes behind satisfying the sensual desires, so then what happens? It leaves some samskaras in the mind, and then when a person sits to do dhyana, then what happens? Those thoughts will come again and again. It will disturb his mind, so he cannot focus, because what he has done the previous day or before that entire week, what he has done, he was immersed in the laukika vyavaharas, the materialistic transactions. And if he and he has done so many things which he is not supposed to do, kama, krodha, mada, matsara, lobha, and all those things, he is immersed in that. and he wants to do all those things on a regular way, and also he wants to become saint, then it is not possible. If he has to achieve yoga samsiddhi, he has to sacrifice all these materialistic things, arishad vargas, says Krishna. So if you want yoga, then you have to sacrifice the bhogaishwaryas, the materialistic enjoyments, the pleasures he has to sacrifice. And why he has to sacrifice? Because this materialistic enjoyment, it binds us to the vishaya vastus. It steals away our independence, because we just chase behind those materialistic things. Even if it is troublesome, then also we just run behind that. And one who wants to become yogi, he has tested all these things, and he knows how painful it is. Even though the materialistic pleasures, it is a pleasure, but it is temporary, it is transient, it is followed by sorrow. He knows all those things. That's why he wants to become yogi. And suppose if a person wants to become yogi, he wants to become a saint, then he has to give up all the materialistic desires. He must give up. Only then he can achieve yoga. He can become yoga samsiddha or yogi, or he can go near God. And for this, a person who wants to do both, for such people, uh, Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to give an example. It seems four drunkards, after drinking alcohol, they thought that they'll have some boating on river Ganga, and then they went there. I don't know, I might have told you this example somewhere, I don't remember. So then they, all the four of them sat in a small boat, and then they started rowing. And then they were rowing it for a long time, and they thought that they must be in the middle of the river by now. But when they opened their eyes, they had never moved an inch also, because they were there only, just they were rowing, but the boat was tied to the tree, a nearby tree on the river bank of Ganga. So they had never realized that that boat is tied to the tree, and but just they're putting effort and they're rowing, thinking that they have covered so much of distance. So in the same way, suppose if we are very much tied to this materialistic world, this laukika world, and if we want to become yogis, and how much ever effort we put, but then also we cannot move an inch also, like how these drunkards happened. They were not able to move an inch because it was tightly tied to the tree. In the same way, if we are tied, we are bound by these materialistic desires, and then even if we put effort, we cannot achieve anything in this path of spirituality. So one who is trying to achieve, one who is trying to get yoga samsiddhi, only he succeeds. Because effort, putting effort is very important. Without putting effort, we cannot achieve anything. And then at once no one can become jitendriya. So there are steps in that. And slowly, if a person tries to get mastery over his mind, so what is jitendriya? It is, after all, getting mastery over the mind. We becoming the masters of our sense organs. We should never become the slaves of the sense organs. Sense organs should listen what we say. We should never listen to them. So that's all. That is yoga. That is becoming jitendriya. So one who is trying to do so, so gradually he will achieve that, and then he will continue. So what is important? Trying and putting effort is very important. So if we say that I cannot do, if we say this, suppose it is very difficult, every one of us know, and we cannot achieve it at once. And when we are on that path, when we are trying, when we are putting effort to have mastery over the mind, sometimes we may fail. Then we should not think that, oh, I cannot do it, it's not possible for me at all. So okay, in this life it is not possible, let me see it in next janma. It is not. Because whatever we do in this janma, only that we will get in next janma. Whatever good deeds, the punyas and whatever punya karmas we do, only that we'll get. Suppose there is a beggar, he sleeps, and if he dreams of becoming rich, the next day morning when he gets up, it's not possible. So he has to work hard, he has to deposit money, only then next day morning if he wants, he can withdraw the money. So we have to put effort, we have to deposit good deeds in our balance, in our account. Only then we can think of some good things in the next life. Otherwise, it's not possible. So, what is important is putting efforts in the path of spirituality is very important. And what is that putting effort? What we should do? We should try to control our mind. We should try to master our mind. So that's what is called as controlling the mind. And nobody is born saint. It is very rare. So everybody do it by sadhana. Everybody do it by constant hard work. So if we start in that path, in the path of spirituality, we'll get so many things. We find that so many things are there to help us. Like, suppose if we search, we may get good books, we may get good shastras, we may get good teacher who will guide us. And we may think that God also will help us, because we are searching for that. So if we are putting effort, then everything comes handy. It's like, so first what we need is that seed of going near the God, seed of achieving in the path of spirituality. That seed should come in our heart. And then what happens? The rain comes on its own, the seed germinates on its own. And then someone will put manure for that, and then someone will remove the weeds, and then very slowly it becomes a huge tree which gives fruit. So that is the in the path of spirituality. I'm telling that if we want, if we put effort, only then everything comes handy and God helps us. So first step is by us, that is we should try, we should put effort, says Krishna here. So what he says, vashatmanatu yatata. Yatata, one who is trying, by him it is possible. Shakyaha, yatata shakyaha, he says. So one who tries, it is possible. It is difficult, but it's not impossible, says Krishna. Mahodaya, agre patatu.
अस्तु महोदय। अर्जुन उवाच अयति श्रद्धयोपेतः योगाच्चलितमानसः अप्राप्य योगसंसिद्धिं कां गतिं कृष्ण गच्छति।
हाँ, धन्यवाद महोदय. अयतिः श्रद्धयोपेतः योगात् चलितमानसः अप्राप्य योगसंसिद्धिं काम gatim Krishna gachati. So here again Krishna, Arjuna raises one more doubt, and he asks, ayatihi, and shraddhaya petaha, one who has shraddha, one who is very diligent. But Arjuna is asking of a person who is very diligent, who is very shraddhavan, who puts effort, and who has putting effort, who has already started putting effort in the path of spirituality. But he has traveled some distance in the path of spirituality, but at some point of time he becomes ayatihi, that is, he loses his control over the mind. He does something, he deviates from the path of spirituality, he gets distraction from the worldly attractions. So even though he has started his journey, somewhere in the middle he gets distracted, and then he slips from the path of spirituality. So he has achieved, he has earned some good, some punya, but he is not able to reach the target. He has not yet reached the state of some yoga samsiddhi, and in between only he gets distracted. So Kam gatim Krishna gachati. So such a person is called as yoga brashtaha in Bhagavad Gita. So he becomes yoga brashta because he didn't reach the goal. In between only, actually he started with diligence, but in between he gets distracted by the original desires and other things. So for such a person, what happens? So, this is the very common question that comes in the mind of common people like us. So, we have heard many times people telling that, yes, if we do that puja, we should do it for 3 days or 12 days. We should do upvasa for so many particular, some days. And if we do Satyanarayana puja, we should do it for 3 times. And all those things we have heard. So, suppose if we cannot do, suppose we have done 2 times Satyanarayana puja and we are not able to, for some reason, we are not able to do it third time. So will we get sin or will we be destroyed? So what happens if something is left in between? Some good cause, we have some good cause, we have some good intention, we are doing it with great devotion and diligence, but for some reason, it may be some selfish reason also sometimes, some worldly affairs we are immersed in, and we are not able to complete that thing which we wanted to do. So what happens? Will we get destroyed, or will we get sin? What happens? So this is the question that comes to all the common people's mind. So Krishna, Arjuna is asking the same thing. So, whatever effort we have put so far, everything becomes wasted. What happens to that person? Kam gatim. So, what fate he faces? Uh, ask Krishna, Arjuna. So, he's having Shraddha, and he has strong faith in this life of Adhyatma, spiritual life, and he has started his journey in that path, and he has covered some distance in that path, but somewhere what happens, his mind becomes weak, and then he slips on the way, he deviates, he gets distracted by worldly attractions or some attachments, maybe his family attachments or whatever. So whatever he has stopped, and he was practicing some yoga, but now he gets distracted. What happens to such a person? Ask Arjuna. So, Mahodaya, so there is no reply in this question. This is only the question Arjuna asks: what happens to a person who stops in between and who gets deviated to the world, back to the worldly affairs? For such a person, what happens? Mahodaya, agre patatu.
अस्तु महोदय। कच्चिन्नो भयविभ्रष्टः छिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढो ब्रह्मणः पथि।
धन्यवाद महोदय। कच्चित् न उभयविभ्रष्टः छिन्नाभ्रम इव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठः महाबाहो विमूढो ब्रह्मणः पथि. Brahmanah pathi. So says, again Arjuna only asked this question. So he continues. Last time we have seen that, last shloka we have seen that what is the fate of a person who stops in between. So here this is again he continues. So he is asking that, wouldn't such a person fallen from both the path of action as well as the path of meditation perish like a cloud without attaining Brahman? So suppose a person is going Brahmanah Patihi, he is on the path of attaining Brahman, the sthiti, the state of Brahman, that is the state of moksha or yoga samsiddhi, and by he is on that path, but he becomes yoga brashta, so he is not able to reach that. So now he is detached from the worldly affairs, but he is not able to reach the Brahman, the state of Brahman. Then what will be his state? Will it be not like a Trishanku? I think in Bhagavata the story of Trishanku comes. Many of you may be knowing that. So Trishanku was a king of Surya Vamsha. His name was, I think, Satyavrata, I think. So he wanted to go to heaven in his mortal body, in the Sasharira, the physical body, like that only. And but it was refused by his guru Vashishta, because it was against the rule of nature. So after being cursed by Vashishta's sons, he sought help from the powerful sage Vishwamitra. He goes to Vashishta and goes to Vashishta's sons, and he gets the form of Chandala, and all those stories are there. So then he goes to Vishwamitra, and Vishwamitra performed a ritual, and he sent him to the heaven. But in the heaven, what happens? Gods also reject him because it is against the rule of nature. And then Vishwamitra halted his descent and suspended him in a mid-air, where he remains a symbol of being stuck between two realms, is the story. That is, he couldn't descend or he couldn't ascend. So such a state is always referred as Trishanku Sthiti. So there is rivalry between Vishwamitra. There was Vishwamitra and Vashishta in those days, and all that story. I think many of you know this. So any state, if there is, they don't belong to the lower or the higher. Such a state is called as Trishanku Sthiti. So because he wants to go to Brahman, he wants to achieve the state of Brahman, so he has stopped all the sensual or laukika affairs. So he has stopped all those things, and then he wants to achieve that Brahman, state of Brahman, but that also is not achieved. So he is neither this side nor that side. He cannot descend or he cannot ascend. That is the state. So like the cloud, a piece of a small cloud, so it gets detached from little bigger cloud to go and join the biggest cloud. One more bigger cloud it sees, and it gets detached, small portion gets detached, thinking that it should join the bigger one. But when it starts moving, the bigger one moves farther, farther, farther. So this small cloud, the water droplet, it got detached from the original cloud and is not able to join the bigger cloud. So what happens to it? So it is hung between the two. So the Krishna is giving that example. So uh, Chinnabhram iva. So one which is detached from a small cloud and which is not able to join the bigger cloud. So like that, this person who has started his journey in the path of spirituality, so he is detached from the worldly affairs, but he is not able to attach himself to the God. What happens to such a person if he stops his sadhana in between? So that is the question this Arjuna is asking. It happens so many times for our students. So those who are going for campus selection, engineering students or any BCA or any students, what happens is when the companies start coming, initially the children think that this is a small company or the package is low, so I'll try for a company which gives higher packages. So they reject the jobs that come initially, and then they'll prepare for the high package companies. But sometimes if they cannot clear the exams of those bigger companies, then they have rejected small jobs and bigger jobs have rejected them. So their state is always uh, uh, called as Trishanku Sthiti. So when there is uncertainty, when we belong neither to this group nor to that group, then it is referred as Trishanku Sthiti. So, but uh, Arjuna's question is, whatever they have achieved so far, does it get wasted, or does that person get sin, or is he destroyed? What is his state in this loka and in another lokas? That is the question raised by Arjuna. So still more, one more shloka is again Arjuna Uvacha only. Then in the 40th shloka, we will see what Krishna replies for this. Uh, Mahodaya Patatu.
अस्तु महोदय। एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण चेतुमर्हस्य शेषतः त्वदन्यः संशयस्यास्य चेता न ह्युपपद्यते।
धन्यवाद महोदय। एतत् मे संशयं कृष्ण छेतुम् अर्हसि अशेषतः त्वद् अन्यः अस्य संशयस्य चेता न हि उपपद्यते. So Arjuna says, hey Krishna, uh, as, may my question or samshayam nisheshatah or asheshatah parihartum or chetum arhasi, only you are capable of clarifying my doubt. Tvad anyaha asya samsayasya cheta na upapadyate. No one can resolve, no one can solve, or no one can clarify my doubt as you do, says Arjuna. So, because it is true also, only Krishna has the capacity to clarify all the doubts of Arjuna. It is literally Aksharashaha Satya. It is because Krishna is Yogeshwara and he knows each and every alphabet of Adhyatmika life. He knows everything of spirituality. And when such a person talks, then there is some power behind that. So the thing becomes so impressive. The Vani, his speech, is so powerful, and it has the capacity to clarify or uh, drive away all the doubts of the person. So because he has complete knowledge, that's why his Vani, his speech has so much of power. So there may be some people, there may be many people, those who can speak nicely, but if they don't have deep knowledge, then there will be no power behind it. So there may be so many people talking like that, but there should be deep knowledge behind that. Only then that Vani, that speech has the ability to drive away all the doubts that come in our minds. So here Krishna is the only person who can resolve, who can solve all the difficulties, all the doubts, all the confusions that are there in Arjuna's mind. So Arjuna totally surrenders himself to Krishna and very honestly raises his doubts. Agre patatu Partha. Sorry, Mahodaya.
अस्तु महोदय। श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थ नैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति।
Yes. Uh, so, Krishna, now Krishna, Bhagavan Uvacha, Krishna starts replying for the questions raised by Arjuna. So, Arjuna's main question is, does a person who becomes yoga brashta, he gets destroyed? So yoga brashta means one who has started putting effort in the path of spirituality. He has achieved something, but he is not able to reach the goal. What is the fate of such a person? Does he get destroyed? Does he uh, become like Trishanku? Is the question raised by Arjuna. So now Krishna replies, Hey Partha, for yoga brashta, uh, न एव इह न अमुत्र विनाशः तत्र विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Says Krishna, for yoga brashta, iha in this loka and amutra in other loka, vinashaha na vidyate, it never happens. There is no destruction for such a person in this loka or in another loka. He, because Kalyanakrit, one who has done good job, one who is on the good spiritual path, right path. So he never gets Durgati. So whether it is this loka or another loka, he never gets Durgati because he has done something, he has achieved something good. He may not have reached the target, he may not have completed his journey, but whatever he has done so far, it is good thing only. He has done good things. So then why he gets destroyed? Why he gets destruction? Ask Krishna. So, through this shloka, Krishna is giving a great message to all the mankind because we people also have such doubts in our mind. So, he is giving some assurance. Oh, please do good things. Start the journey of spirituality. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. If you can't complete, it's okay. But just start. That's what Krishna is telling here. So, when it is because in this entire world all the people are rushing towards materialistic things, all are chasing behind the luxurious items, all are chasing behind name, fame, money, wealth and all those things. And the yogi is a person who is exactly in the opposite direction. It is becoming a yogi is as difficult as swimming against the flood. Flood means it will be having so much of force in some particular direction in on some water bodies. So swimming in the opposite direction of the flood is always very difficult. So for a yogi it is like that only because entire world is moving in one direction, all the materialistic attractions and all those things. Yogi is moving away from that. So it is so difficult. But Krishna says that it is Kalyanakrit. It is a good job. It is Kalyanakrit. It is such a great thing to become a yogi. It is great thing to give up all those things what all the peoples are chasing. So such a person may not be victorious in one go. He may not succeed at once, but then also he never get destroys. He never get destroys here nor there, says Krishna. So the person who is trying to go near Bhagavan, person who is trying to control his mind, person who is always doing good things, right things, helping others. So for such person, what happens? He always has some good samskar in his mind, and that work what he has done in the path of spirituality, it never gets wasted. But that he the samskara what he had before, it gets destroyed. So all the negative things get destroyed because they get replaced by positive things. That's why whatever how much ever he has done so far, for that definitely he will get the good result only what he deserves. uh, we can say, for example, we all are studying Bhagavad Gita from more than 1 year, and we have almost, we are about to finish sixth chapter, and we all have the desire, have the hope that we will finish 18 chapters. Suppose some of us, for some reason, we are not able to finish that, then no need to be afraid that we will get sin, or no need to think that all the six chapters what we have studied is a waste. No, it's not waste. We shouldn't think like that, because we have got so much of knowledge. Of course, till we, if we finish 18 chapters, we will be able to implement. But now what we are reading is theory, but then also up to six chapters whatever is there, we have got knowledge. And one more very important thing is the time that we spend to read, to listen, to write Bhagavad Gita, so that time is utilized in a peaceful way, so that at least 1 hour we are able to drive away the negative thoughts from our mind. So 1 hour we are able to replace the negative thoughts by good thoughts, by Bhagavad Gita, by Krishna's preachings. So the time, the hours we have spent in learning this Bhagavad Gita never gets wasted, even if we cannot complete 18 chapters. So in the same way, so what Krishna is telling is, Nahi Kalyanakrit Kaschit Durgatim Tata Gachati. Tata is, oh dear Arjuna, don't think like that. Nothing gets wasted if you have done something good. The good deeds, how much ever small it is, it never gets wasted. Suppose I have to purchase something with the cost of that is 1,000 rupees, and I don't have money at all, and I earn money with great difficulty. I'm able to earn only 500 rupees. So I may not be able to purchase that particular thing whose cost is 1,000 rupees, but is this 500 waste? Can I throw that somewhere because I'm not able to purchase that thing? No, that 500 is still, it has got its worth. So what I can do, I can work hard little more, and then go on collecting some more money, and one day I'll be able to gather 1,000 rupees, and I'll be able to purchase what I want to do. So because I need not have to feel sad that what I spent so many hours, or so much of with great difficulty I have earned 500 rupees, and that became waste. No, it's not waste. In the same way, if we have earned good deeds, and that's not enough to get yoga samsiddhi, but what good deeds we have earned is not a waste, so that remains there. So then, because there are so many janmas, so many lakhs and lakhs of janmas, so compared to that nature, infinite nature of this janmas, this janma is a very small one. It's like seconds it goes. So then what happens when we die? What happens? Only the good deeds and bad deeds we take with us. So no good deeds is wasted, because everything is recorded and it follows us like a shadow. So even if I forget, suppose if I have helped someone, even if I forget, but God never forgets. That's why there is no loss at all when we are doing good things. Suppose I help someone, and that particular person will not help me when I am in need of help. Or that person will not acknowledge also. I help him so much, and he'll not acknowledge also. He'll never say thanks to me. Then I need not have to feel sad that, oh, it's a waste. I shouldn't have helped this man. This man is so thankless. Why I helped him? No. It is because God is watching all these things. All the things that we do, good or bad, is recorded. So then, that what we do here, that will be consumed, utilized by us in the next janma. So that's why we shouldn't feel sad if we have done good but it is not recognized by anybody. We shouldn't feel sad, because it is identified by God, and that is more than enough for us. So we should never feel sad. It is not noticed by someone, it is not identified by someone, or we didn't, it's not acknowledged. So there is no need to feel sad, because even if we forget, Krishna says, even if we forget, God will never forget that. So he says that uh, there is no durgati for kalyanakrit kaschit durgati. There is no durgati. They will not get any bad fate, because if we have sown the mango seeds, definitely we'll get mango tree only. So from that mango seed will never get neem tree. So that is the rule of the nature, and same is the rule of Bhagavan also. So if we are doing good deeds and then also we don't succeed, but then we should wait for a while, definitely we will succeed in life. So, and always we should think that this defeat is the stepping stone for victory. Always defeat is stepping stone for the victory. And uh, for a great cause, suppose somebody has struggled a lot, even if he doesn't get victory, he should be treated as a hero. Vivekananda used to say this. It is our uh, fortune. We are so fortunate if we are able to see a person who is fighting for a good cause. He may not be successful, but he has some good cause in his mind, and he is putting effort and he is fighting. So he is the great hero. Vivekananda used to tell that the sight of such a person itself purifies our soul, because he is on the right path. He is putting effort in the right path. So whether he succeeded or not, that is immaterial, because he will succeed one day. Definitely he will succeed. So such a person is called as yoga brashta. So he's on the path, but he is not successful yet. Later, definitely he will become successful. And it is only the person who is walking, there is a fear of falling. Suppose a person who is sleeping, so there is no fear of falling. So this yogi is like that, because he is walking, so sometimes he may slip, but otherwise definitely he will reach his goal one or the other day. So the question of destruction or destroying never comes. So he will never see destruction in this loka or in any other loka. Good deeds which are done are always recorded, and they'll give results, says Krishna. Mahodaya, agre pathatu. Uh, Today I
अस्तु
will read one more shloka, because next week also, if we read six more, then we'll be completing this chapter. 41 will be today.
अस्तु महोदय प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टो विजायते
धन्यवाद महोदय. प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टः abhijayate, says Krishna. So he says that after his death, for such a person, yoga brashta, who is deviated from his path, so that yogi who is striving for perfection reaches heavens and enjoys peace, and is again born in the company of a great ones to fulfill his desire for perfection. So prapya punyakritam lokan. So what happens after his death? He gets heaven, because he has done so much of good deed. And then lokan ushitva shashwati samaha, stays there for many years. And then he is born. We have seen in the previous chapters that this swarga is not a permanent place. When all the good deeds, it is like a fixed deposit. When all the money is spent there, he has to born again on the earth. So again this yogi is born in on the earth, in the house of some Srimatam, rich and well cultured, so Samskrita families, and then Abhijayate is born in that family. So the reason for become yoga chuta, deviate from yoga, was some desires that were there in his mind. So some reminders. So he was away from so many materialistic desires, but some traces were there in his mind. So because of that, he became yoga brashta. He was deviated from the path of spirituality. So then that they were the obstacles. Those traces of his desires were the obstacles. So that, and they stopped him from reaching his goal, and he became the victim of those desires temporarily. And in this state, if he dies, God never sends him to hell, because he has done so much of good deeds. So then he sends them to uh, heaven, Swarga. So then what happens? There he stays for many years. He fulfills his desires. He leads some peaceful life. And then there he realizes the nature of all these materialistic desires. Then again he comes back to the path of spirituality. He realizes his mistake, and again he comes back to the path of spirituality, and then God brings him to the house of a susamskara family, which is well cultured family, and he says that Srimatam, Shuchinam is well cultured, Srimatam is uh, rich people's house, and in a very good environment, so where he blooms, where he can continue from where he has stopped. So in path of spirituality, he has earned so much of punya, and then when he is reborn after coming from heaven, after realization, he is put back to the place where he stopped. So he had become yoga brashta at some point of time. So again he rejoins that he is born in the family of a rich people. So why rich people? It is because suppose if he is born in rich people, then there is no scarcity of food and good clothes, then there is no need for him to struggle for his livelihood, and he can give more time for meditation. That's why God puts him in the family of rich and well cultured, good environment, because that plays very important role. Because if the good environment is not there, people are not aware of this spirituality and all, then he has to fight, he has to convince all those people why he is doing all these things. So already if he is born in a family where it is well cultured, where the environment is good, then meditation becomes very easy for that person. That's why Krishna says that uh, for a yoga brashta, nothing harm. What happens is, because of some traces of his desires, he becomes yoga brashta. So he goes to heaven, he fulfills those desires, and he will have enlightenment or realization that where he deviated, where he distracted, where he did mistake, and then he comes back to again on the right track. Where he has left, there only he comes and joins, and he continues his journey of this spirituality. So that's what is the fate of yoga brashta, says Krishna. So as I was giving you the example of a student who misses the company which he gets initially, the smaller companies, who uh, desires to get a good job of high package. So what happens? So he studies a lot to get that high package job, but he's not able, he didn't get that, and he lost the job which was offered to him initially, and he didn't get for the higher package job. And temporarily he may feel that, oh, I studied so much, day and night I studied, and everything got wasted, I couldn't get into that. But actually, while studying that, he has gained so much of knowledge, he has got so much of ability. So after 1 or 2 months, he writes few more exams, and definitely he gets into a good job. So nothing gets wasted if we have done a good thing. If it is on the right path, if it is for the good cause, nothing gets wasted. So we should never think that, oh, I simply did this much, I simply cleaned this, I simply did this, I simply helped someone. So nothing gets wasted, if as long as it has good intention, if it has good cause, then nothing gets wasted, says Krishna. So if we are not able to get the reach the goal right now, but with that ability, with that knowledge, definitely we will get it after some time, we'll reach the goal after some time, says Krishna. And this is the direct answer for the Arjuna's question. So we'll stop today's class. 41 shlokas we have done, and next class 6 more shlokas we'll do, and we'll be completing this chapter. Dhanyavad.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಭಗಿನಿ.
Dhanyavad.
ಶಾಂತಿ ಮಂತ್ರ. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.